letting go of every single dream. I lay each one down at your feet. Every moment of my wandering never changes what you see. I've tried to win this war, I confess. My hands are weary, I need your rest. Mighty warrior, king of the fight. No matter what I face, you're by my side. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. Truth is, you know what tomorrow brings. There's not a day ahead you have not seen. So in all things, be my life and bread. I want what you want, Lord, and nothing less. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. I will trust in you. You are my strength and comfort. You are my steady hand. You are my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand. Your ways are always higher. Your plans are always good. There's not a place where I'll go you've not already said. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. I will trust in you. I will trust in you. I will trust in you.
So that is yeah, thank you. If you want to hear it again, go to WayFM. It plays about every 30 minutes. I've really grown to like this song, and I really appreciate that Christians have really been able to trust God so fully with so many things. They're able to, lay down their life in front of God and lay down their problems, lay down their questions at God's feet, and just trust that God has their best interests and God is working in their life, and God will lead them, through the obstacles, over the mountains, through the waters, to something that is not just better for them, but also that God desires for them. So this song has also meant a lot to me recently. As you remember from a couple weeks ago, I was sharing how since the grace ceremony, and I've made a lot of new goals for my life. I shared my vision board with you, and there's a lot that I want to accomplish. I want to go forward into the next part of my life. I want to get closer to God. I want to create better relationships in my family, in my community. And I also shared that when we are striving for more, that's when we're leaving our comfort zone, and that's when things can often seem tough, because we're not operating in the same way that we've been operating. We're doing new things to achieve new results, and it's often scary. It can be intimidating, especially when you're just starting and you don't have any results yet. You don't have that great relationship yet. You don't have that closeness to God yet that you're desiring. So I feel like that was a really good place to hear this song. To be able to trust that when I'm moving forward, that God is moving with me. When there's a mountain in front of me, I will trust God that it's achievable. What I get out of the song is that we can trust that God is always on our side. He's always doing his part to raise us up and to be victorious in our life. And that when we do our part, God meets us there. The rest is already there. So that brings me to thinking about what is our portion of responsibility. I think there's kind of a fine line where between trusting completely and also knowing that we have to do our responsibility. I don't think it will do much good to tell God, I need $1 million. I trust that $1 million will come. If we don't start a business, or if we don't at least play the lottery, or I trust that my kids will go in a good direction. I trust that their lives will be blessed, but without making any effort to educate them, or without making any effort to teach them about God. So I have a couple of, hopefully this is in the right order. Oh, there we go. So I have a couple of quotes from the Divine Principle. It is written in the Bible, "The prayer of faith will save the sick man. Your faith has made you well. And for everyone who asks, receives, and he who seeks, finds. And to him who knocks, it will be opened." These verses confirm that God predestines his will to be fulfilled, contingent upon human beings completing their portion of responsibility. So showing that God can save the sick man, but we do need to pray. We need our faith. You can receive, but you do need to ask. You can find God, but you do need to seek him. And this is also from the Divine Principle. The proportion of 5% is used to indicate that the human portion of responsibility is extremely small when compared to God's portion of responsibility. Yet, for human beings, this 5% is equivalent to 100% of our effort. So what I get from this is that many times the things that we desire, our goals, the mountains that we have to go over, can seem so big. And it's so easy to get discouraged at looking at what is in front of us and what needs to be done. But I believe that this trusting in God part is really important to remember that the path is already prepared. 95% of what needs to be done is already there. If we do our responsibility. I think sometimes we don't even try because we feel like that the goal is too big. There are too many people out there to witness to. The goal is too big. And so we get scared of that. We don't even try. But I believe that the magic of the principle is that when we try, even if our 100% takes us this far, even if our 100% isn't enough to go the whole way up the mountain, if we give what is our 100%, God will meet us there. I think it's almost magical when you experience it. That sometimes it seems like too much, but when we try anyway, God can meet us right there. So in the Bible, actually, there's so many quotes on trusting in God. I think the Christians really got this down from the Bible. In Joshua 1:9 it says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." I love this. God is like saying, why do you doubt? I've already told you, I'm right here. I'm right here. This is from Psalms 9:10. "Those who know your name trust in you, for you, Lord, have never forsaken those who seek you." God will never forsake us. This is Psalm 56:3. "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you," just like the song. And this is Proverbs 3:5-6. "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding." Don't trust what your own eyes see. Trust what God sees. "In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." I could probably spend the next 2 hours displaying quotes that I found in the Bible about trusting God. There are so many. This is where the twist comes in my sermon, guys. I was looking for quotes by Father about trusting in God. And I went through 12 pages of results. And I did not find, I'm sure there must be some. I'm sure that Father talked about trusting in God. But I did not find any results about trusting in God. All the results I found were about God trusting us. And I realized, I'm really small in my thinking about this sermon right now. I'm thinking about, how can I get what I need? How can I trust that I'll be okay? And I'm not thinking at the next level of, what does God need? How can I comfort God? It just blew me away that it was such a clear distinction. I'm searching for Bible quotes, and I searched Father's quotes. And Father's on a totally different level in his relationship with God. I think for Father, for true parents, to trust God is not a question, because God is a parent, and of course we trust our parents. That's just the relationship that he has. So he talks about being someone that God can trust. And I'm going to share a little story with you about my relationship with Mia. We had this event happen about a month ago now. It was the end of the day. I think Mike was putting the twins to bed, and I was trying to put Annalise to sleep. But Mia, as she often does, had dilly-dallied during dinner, and was like kind of picking at it. She didn't want to eat with us, and then she wanted me to feed her, but I wasn't going to feed her, so she sat there griping about it for a little while. But she wanted her dessert, so she wanted to eat it. So I said, "Okay, Mia, I'm going to go put Annalise to sleep. You finish your dinner, and then when I'm done, I can get you your dessert." So I go and lie down with Annalise, and about 2 minutes later, Mia walks in. She's like, "I'm done." And there wasn't just like 2 bites left on her plate. There was most of her food left. So in my mind, I'm pretty sure that's not physically possible, that she could have finished her dinner in 2 minutes. So I said, "Really, Mia?" And she's like, "Yep, I finished." And I said, "So if I go out there won't be any food on your plate?" "Nope, no food on my plate." And I said, "Okay, if I go look in the trash can, will there be any food in the trash can?" "No, no food in the trash can." "Okay, Mia, if I go look outside, will I find any food outside?" "Oh, no, Mommy. I wouldn't lie to you. You can trust me." So I know she's kind of digging herself into a hole here. Okay, Mia. So I got Annalise to sleep, and I got up, and I went out, and sure enough, her plate was clean. And I said, "Okay, Mia, are you sure you finished?" And she said, "Yep, you can trust me, Mommy." And so I said, "Okay, Mia, if I go look in the trash can now, there won't be any food there?" "No, Mommy." So I go to open the door to the little trash can thing, and she dashes in front of me, like blocks away the trash can. I said, "Are you sure, Mia?" I said, "Yeah, Mommy. I wouldn't lie to you. You can trust me." And at this point, there's like a look of desperation in her eye. So she repeated about 4 times, "No, Mommy, I wouldn't lie, you can trust me." And so I open the door and I pull out the trash can, and her dinner's at the bottom of the trash can. And I turn to Mia, and her eye, she's just like, I've never seen such a look of fear, actually, in her eyes. Because I don't think that she's ever had the experience of deliberately lying, knowing that what she did was wrong, and then being found out about it. I could tell that she was struck to the core. So all I could do was like scoop her up before she, melted and dissolved in front of me. So I scooped her up and I held her and I went and sat down with her and we talked about it. And fortunately, I had actually done the exact same thing when I was about 5. So I shared with her my story and, how it made my parents feel when I threw away their food and that I never did it again. And I think that mostly she was just grateful that, the sky didn't open and lightning didn't strike her. And and of course she didn't get her dessert that night. But it was kind of an intense moment because it was the first time that I had to deal with my child, deliberately lying and saying that she could be trusted when she knew she wasn't. And it was also her first time to experience that and have to, I think it was a really good lesson for her to know what kind of feeling comes with lying, what kind of a feeling comes with betraying someone's trust. And it was also a good experience for her and me to reconnect our hearts through that and to learn better. We haven't had that issue yet in the last, since then, and I hopefully won't again. I think for one thing, it's really good to look at our relationship with God in this kind of way, a familial relationship of a parent and a child, not the kind of God who will open the heavens and smite us with lightning, when we do wrong. But I think that this reminded me of the kind of compassion and patience that God has with us. We do make mistakes, but God only wants us to learn from them and ultimately to come closer to Him through them, through admitting them, through realizing our mistakes and apologizing and being able to receive God's forgiveness. That's really what I felt was so beautiful about this experience for Mia and I, was that I didn't get upset and send her to her room and yell at her for, lying to me, but instead that she was able to be very vulnerable to me and that I was able to embrace her. And I feel like that she really gained and learned something through that. So I think God wants us to learn from our mistakes and not to be afraid of our mistakes, but to always come closer and always to learn better. But also, on a very simple level, I do want to be able to trust her. And I think that parents want to be able to trust their children. Not just to trust them that they're not going to lie to them, but especially as they mature, they want to be able to trust them with the future. They want to be able to trust them with the common goals that the family shares. They want to be able to trust them to work together with the parents for what needs to be done. And I think that that's the same relationship with God, the same way that God looks at us. Of course, God wants us to trust Him. That's like a given. Unfortunately, we do struggle with that many times. We do struggle to believe that God is there with us. And this song that I played is a really good reminder. It's a reminder that, of course, God is there. God is our parent. He's always leading us on ways that are higher and paths that are good. But from God's perspective, that's like, of course you can trust me. But the next level is, as maturing children, God wants to trust us as well. So I have a few quotes from Father on this. There were pages and pages, so I'll just share a couple. Become an unchanging man in front of the will of God. God is looking for unchanging children whom he can trust eternally. What about you? What kind of a person are you? Are you a person who in the morning thinks one thing and is ecstatically joyful and bubbling with enthusiasm, but in the evening is all drained out? Or are you unchanging morning and evening, day and night, year to year? I myself have been held in the worst possible prisons in communist North Korea. Every time I was chained and pulled into a prison camp, do you think I said, "Oh God, don't worry about me. I will never be defeated"? Or do you think Reverend Moon said, "Boy, what should I do? Somebody should come and rescue me. God, where are you?" This was the same kind of test, and once I pledged my loyalty to God, I never changed. That was 20 years ago. Of course, now that's like 50, 60 years ago. But it was really refreshing for me, I feel, to read these words and read these stories from Father about how, in some ways, I think you could hear like God needs to trust you, and you could feel like it's a weight, or feel like we're not worthy. But actually, when I read Father's words on this, I feel like it's empowering. God doesn't want us to just be servants who do the right things all the time, who follow his directions, and who trust him. But God created us to be co-creators. God created us with our free will and an incredible potential that maybe this is where we need to trust God. We need to trust that God created us with incredible potential that needs to be fulfilled. And it's empowering for me when I think of it this way, that I can be somebody who makes God happy. I don't just have to trust God because I'm so incapable of doing things. But I can become somebody that God can trust. I think there are times in our life where we really just need to trust God, but we also need to remember that that's not the end goal. It's good. This song is really inspiring to me, and it's good. But that's not the end. We can also become people that God can trust. We can also live our life in a way that's inspiring to God. That God can feel comfortable to come with us and dwell with us because he trusts us. So that's just a little reminder for you today on that. And I hope you take some time to think about what ways in which we need to trust God more for our life, but also in what ways can we live our life that God can be inspired by us and trust us as well. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Let's give her another round of applause. Yeah, I could really appreciate that message a lot. Of course, we were talking about it yesterday, but there's certain things that just kind of stick out to me in terms of, trusting in God is great. It's like really important thing but her point is so meaningful to me in that's not like the end goal. That's not like something that we should just be satisfied with, that we have certain ideas and plans and that we just trust that God is going to help us. But that part of the reason we have this faith is that it's not just about trusting in God, or not just about waiting on God, but that God is waiting on us, and that we are the co-creators, and that God can only do so much by himself. He needs human beings who know their responsibility and know what we need to do to do our part in order for him to be able to do his part. So thank you very much. At this time, yes, thank you. Anyway, at this time we're going to have our offering and the reflection music, and you can take a few minutes to reflect on the message, pray, meditate, whatever you want to do. If you'd like to give extra donation, or if you don't if you haven't done the tithing envelope, you can use the envelope behind the pew and give a donation through the basket as it comes up. One of those days. All right. So Jazz and Megan have their new and improved outreach program today at 1 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock. Okay, sorry about that. 12 o'clock. And that'll be right here. So please come if you can. If you want more information, you can talk to Jazz or Megan. So the 40th anniversary of Washington Monument is coming up quickly. It's probably less than 3 weeks away or so. So I'm going to be reaching out to a few people who I think would be really wonderful for helping to organize this event. And because I really do want to create a really nice event here to commemorate this special anniversary. So if I come to you, don't be surprised. Young Yellow is organizing a youth hike on September 17th at 10 a.m. This is as concrete as we can make it in terms of schedule. There's a possibility that he may have to be out of town, but we're just scheduling it for this with the high hope that it will work out. So September 17th at 10 a.m.
What day of the week is that?
It's a Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. And there'll be lunch. Absolutely, there'll be lunch. Save the date. Our Women's Federation chapter in Denver is organizing a Schools of Africa fashion show and fundraiser. And so, I don't know if you know, but Women's Federation funds several schools in different countries in Africa. One in Rwanda, and they're able to continue these schools through the donations of Women's Federation every year. So every year, chapters around the country do fundraisers, and so we'll be doing one for that purpose, and there'll be African food, music, and entertainment, and that'll be Saturday, November 5th, noon to 2. Also, Women's Federation nationally is having their annual assembly on November 11th through 13th, and the theme is Compassionate, Sustainable Leadership, Women Making an Impact. So if you feel inspired to attend that, please see Shirley or Justine or Gail, and I'm sure they'll help you out. If you haven't already picked up a financial report, they're available in the back for the last quarter. It's really great. If you look at the financial report between quarter 1 and quarter 2, you'll see there was a 20% increase in tithing. So that's really awesome. I was really inspired to see that. And then, as you know, we need help in certain areas of, Kendra and David, they're taking on the older Sunday school classes, and they really could use some help. They've got their hands full already, but they're doing that because that's what they really want to do. And the young is still looking for an assistant, someone to help him out with organizing events. And then next week, the Gershwin family is cleaning, the Galame family is ushering, and the Jameson family is cooking.